So Europe is suddenly pouring billions into South Africa, but not for the reasons you might think. Today we're unpacking what's really behind the EU's 230 billion rand investment drive, Pick n Pay's slow but steady comeback, and why Chinese car makers are eyeing local factories. Plus, in the Wildcard, how the Drakensberg got its name, from dragons to spears. And before we jump in, my friends, this is the 100th episode of the Daily Bagel Show. And look, I'm not gonna lie, doing this every day has been pretty exhausting. The early mornings, the late nights, but it's been worth every second. Just the community that's grown around this whole thing has just made it all make sense. So thank you. And hey, look, if you have been watching but you're not subscribed yet, fix that, please. And if your friends or family don't know about the show, send this to your family WhatsApp group. Stop keeping us to yourself. And so to celebrate the milestone, we've officially launched the Daily Bagel WhatsApp channel. Because let's be honest, between Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, finding each day's episode can get a bit messy. So now if you join the WhatsApp channel, the link's either in our bio or our description below, we'll send you a simple message every evening when the show drops, with links to watch on whatever platform you prefer. Great? Perfect. Now, with that long introduction out the way, let's get into it. Europe isn't just investing in South Africa, it is staking a claim. You see, 2 weeks ago, the European Union quietly pledged nearly 12 billion euros, about 230 billion rand, in new investments for South Africa's energy, transport, and health sectors. I mean, it's the biggest foreign commitment we've seen in years, and most of it will fund renewable power, green hydrogen, and critical minerals, the building blocks of a clean energy economy. So now for the EU, this isn't about aid, it's about strategy. You see, South Africa's relationship with the US has been on the rocks this year, from tariff disputes to foreign policy friction, and Europe is moving fast to fill that gap. They see a chance to deepen ties, strengthen influence, and lock in long-term access to African markets, starting with South Africa. But what Europe really wants is mineral security. You see, as the world races to ditch fossil fuels, Europe's green ship depends on a steady supply of platinum, cobalt, and rare minerals used in electric cars, batteries, and wind turbines. And so by investing early in South Africa's renewables and resource industries, the EU is trying to future-proof its own energy transition while keeping Africa's biggest economy firmly in its corner. In Brussels, the EU president put it pretty plainly: we are here to stay. And so while the headline sounds generous, the subtext is power. South Africa isn't just getting investment, it's being positioned as Europe's strategic foothold in the new energy economy. So for many South Africans, a car is one of the biggest financial commitments they'll make. And the brands that are dominating our roads are changing fast. You see, Chinese cars like Motor, JQ, and Haval have gone from rare sightings to some of the country's fastest selling models, offering premium features at prices that many locals can still reach. And so Chery, the company behind Motor and JQ, says that it is now studying whether to start manufacturing here in South Africa, a move that could eventually cut import costs and boost local jobs. So this follows a broader shift that has been building for months. You see, back in July, government officials confirmed that they'd held talks with several Chinese automakers, including Chery and BAIC, about expanding their presence here, part of a longer push to help revive our local manufacturing and help offset the lost export markets after the US tariff hikes. So if Chery goes ahead, it could mark the start of the country's next automotive chapter, one where the next Chinese car you buy isn't just made for South Africans, it's made by South Africans. Pick n Pay's turnaround is showing real movement, just not where investors wanted. You see, the retailer halved its headline loss to 439 million rand, doubled shopper growth to 7%, and saw volumes rise for the first time in years. But just yesterday, its share price still plunged 8%. Now, the paradox here is that while sales are ticking up, costs are keeping pace. Trading expenses climbed 4.8%, nearly matching revenue growth. And so analysts are saying that the market may finally be pricing in the sheer scale and the timeline of this Pick n Pay rebuild. CEO Sean Summers, now 16 months into his second stint, says that every lever that the company can pull has already been pulled and insists that the turnaround is absolutely on track. The group has already shut or converted 65 loss-making stores, a move that helped to stabilize its market share. Still though, the picture's mixed. Boxer, which is Pick n Pay's discount arm, remains the star performer with 13.9% turnover growth. Clothing sales jumped 12% and online orders rose 34%. So yes, the bleeding has slowed, but investors are starting to realize just how long this recovery may take, and also just how much work lies ahead. And so yeah, for sure, the turnaround is real, but it's far from over. There's evident progress, but profit is still at least 2 financial years away. And before we cruise on to our bagel bite of the day, here's a couple other headlines worth knowing. For starters, South Africa could unlock up to 1.3 trillion rand in new exports over the next 5 years, according to RMB's latest Where to Invest in Africa report, but only if long-delayed logistic reforms and Transnet's private sector partnerships succeed. Aspen plans to roll out Eli Lilly's weight loss drug Mounjaro across Africa next year after strong local demand. The expansion follows South Africa's approval for chronic use and could lift local sales beyond 1 billion rand in the coming years. And a huge global data breach has exposed the login details for 183 million email users, including many Gmail accounts here in South Africa. Experts warn users to change their passwords and enable two-factor authentication as a precaution. And on to our bagel bite of the day. This one's for the movie fanatics. Let's see what you got. The question is, which movie won Best Picture in the 2020 Academy Awards? Was it A, 1917, B, Joker, or C, Parasite? We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. And on to our wildcard section. South Africa's most famous mountain range has gone by more than one name, and both tell their own story. When early Dutch settlers first saw its jagged skyline clawing through the mist, they called it Drakensberg, the Dragon Mountains. Now, some historians say that the name also reflected the danger of crossing it, steep cliffs, roaring storms, and legends of creatures said to live in its shadows. But the Zulu name tells a different story. Ukaslamba means barrier of spears, not in the battle sense, but rather in the beauty. You see, the peaks line the horizon like a fortress of spears catching first light and marking the border between KZN and Lesotho. And so in Zulu legend, the range isn't feared, it's revered, seen as a shield protecting the people and the land beyond it. Stretching over 1,000 kilometers from the Eastern Cape to Limpopo, it isn't just South Africa's highest mountain range, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, home to ancient sandrock paintings and some of the country's most dramatic landscapes. So look, whether you see dragons or spears, it's hard to deny. Few places capture South Africa's beauty and mythology quite like it. And as for that bagel bite, the answer is Parasite, the first non-English film to win Best Picture. The 2020 Oscars marked a turning point for global cinema, proving that a subtitle story from South Korea could outshine Hollywood on its own stage. And my friends, that's it for today's show, and that is it for our 100th episode. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this community. Seriously, thank you. And look, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you do. And if you haven't joined the new Daily Bagel WhatsApp channel, make my day. The link is either in our bio or in our description below. Join so that you never miss an episode. My friends, have a great day. Be kind to one another, and we'll catch you all tomorrow for the next round of the good stuff. God bless.